Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute, and I have a wonderful, wonderful comedian named Jeff Greenberg with me today. Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Scott.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're in New Jersey, is that correct?
Yeah, I live in Wayne, New Jersey.
I know Wayne, New Jersey. I've
You
been in
know
every
where?
part of New Jersey.
Oh, okay. All
Were
right.
you, were you born and raised in that area?
No, actually, I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Uh,
Okay, I've been there as
uh,
well.
yeah, my father was in the army there, and I
Okay.
wanted to be close to my mother, as the old joke goes. So, but I've been in New. I don't remember anything from Kentucky. I was only there for a few months.
Okay.
So, but I've been in New Jersey all my life.
All right. All right. Yeah, like I said, I've been to every part. We'll get into that.
Oh,
When
okay.
did you start doing comedy, Jeff?
Well, I started as far as on stage about 8 years ago on
Okay.
that. But before that, I was just kind of doing company Christmas parties
Okay.
and sales contests, where we're on a cruise ship. I was always writing jokes and this and that. So I always, do different things. But I just never had the time to do it beforehand,
Well, that was,
just
let me
based
just
upon
follow,
my,
let me interject. The
yeah.
follow-up question is, was there a catalyst? Was it 8 years ago?
Yeah, it was just
Catalyst
about
eight
eight
years
years
ago that
ago.
said, Jeff, go do comedy.
Well, I'll tell you how it started. Um, Do you know Robin Lakin? Do you know Robin?
It sounds familiar.
Oh, okay. Well, her and Nancy Levine
Nancy
used to
Levine.
co-produce shows over at the Broadway Comedy Club. All
Right.
right. Yeah, they would do once or twice a month or so. And I'm very good friends with her husband. We went to school together. We've been friends since high
Okay.
school and Hebrew school and all that. And they
Okay.
live right in town. They live right, in
Well,
Wayne.
I don't know
And
which one you're talking about, but Nancy's been on the show twice.
oh, okay.
Levine's been on the show twice.
Yeah. So Robin, her partner Robin,
Okay,
her,
yeah,
her
they do the
they
Broadway.
did.
They just did it in December.
Yeah, Nancy just did like she does kind of like a sale, a competition,
Okay,
comedy
yeah, yeah, a
competition. I think,
contest, yeah,
I think a ladies room.
yeah, ladies'
She's
room,
done that
yeah,
like the
gotcha.
last couple of years. You
Okay,
know.
so your friend, I
Yeah.
didn't
So
mean to
my friend
interrupt. Go ahead.
Robin, so she would co-produce shows with Nancy, and so what
Right.
happens is I I'd be over their house every now and then with a bunch of the guys from high school. We would play cards, go out to dinner, play cards back
Okay.
at
All
the
right.
house, and I'm cracking jokes and this and that.
Right.
And Robin would say to me, "Oh, Jeff, you got to do one of my shows. You got to do one of my shows." I said,
Okay. All
something.
right.
I think I'm going to do it. The time is right. I have more free time in the evenings and the weekend, and so I did a show at the Broadway Comedy Club. It was a couple of years before the pandemic, 1 or 2 years
Okay.
before. I can't
All right.
remember anymore. And it went really well. I really enjoyed it. Met some great people, and I wanted to keep doing it. So
Okay.
I just got
That's
myself
how it
out
started.
there and just
Now
networked.
again, I did a lot of research because, and I'll get to at the end. I'll disclose everything, but I understand you're a big Laurel and Hardy fan.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of old
Yeah,
time
that's what I
comedy
heard.
and
And
music.
I just want to say this before you start. I loved Laurel and Hardy.
Okay.
I'm 62 years old.
All right.
And it's funny, and I don't want to, dominate this thing, but the Three Stooges I love too.
Mm-hmm.
But the Three Stooges doesn't hold up for me
Oh,
anymore.
okay. Yeah, I'm
But
a big
Laurel and Hardy,
Stooges
I wish I
fan
could see
too.
more Laurel and
Yeah.
Hardy stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah. You ever consider joining? I don't know if you're a member of any of the Sons of the Desert tents,
No, but I
because we
heard
have.
that you have a big. I didn't mean to interrupt, but go ahead as far as old comedy. You love old comedy.
Yeah, I'm big into like the Three Stooges, the Marx Brothers,
Okay.
Abbott and Costello,
Okay.
um, also the old time great Borscht Belt type comics.
Well, and Al Jolson's one of your favorite singers,
Oh
and
yeah, I'm a
and
huge Jolson
also
fan.
what was it, Irving Berlin or something? One of the greatest songwriters. Who's your favorite songwriter?
I mean, Irving Berlin is definitely up there. Irving Berlin, Richard Rodgers,
I
Gershwin. I
think
like
I
all
think
the old time great,
okay. I think
Broadway
Taylor
songwriters.
Swift might. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm
No, that's
sorry.
okay.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Even I broke up with. I set that one up.
No problem.
You know what? The only reason I said Taylor Swift is that some of the young kids might actually stay tuned.
Yeah.
The
But
comedians that inspired you would be those older comedians.
yeah, I'm a big fan. Like Rod. I was always a big fan of Rodney
Yeah.
Dangerfield.
Well, I heard you do an impression of Rodney.
Yeah. You know what it is? I'll kind of preface it a little bit. When I was in eighth grade, like I said, I'm 66. So I'm I've been around for on the
I
planet
got you.
Earth for a while. But anyway, when I was in eighth grade, kids would come up to me, "Hey, you look like Rodney Dangerfield. You look like Rodney." So I decided that I'm going to do anytime. I'm going to start surprising people. I'm going to start learning, the mannerisms, the voice,
Okay.
do a few Rodney jokes, have them ready to go. So people, when they don't know me and they mention Rodney, and I start going into a Rodney shtick, they're like, "Oh
Go
my
ahead. Go
God, he's
ahead.
going to."
Go ahead because I have a little nugget I'm going to pull out. Go ahead. Do a little
Okay, I'll
Rodney
do
shtick.
I'll do a couple of my favorite
If you don't
Rodney.
mind, it's your comedy minute. You're in
Yeah,
charge.
okay. Yeah, I'll do a couple.
Do a
Okay.
couple.
Here's all right. Here's my favorite Rodney Dangerfield joke. That's not even a joke anymore based upon the crime in New York.
I'm already laughing.
I tell you, I moved into a tough neighborhood. I asked a cop how long I walk to the subway. 'Cause I don't know. Nobody's ever made it yet. And then I'll write some jokes that are like mine, but in Rodney's
Sure.
style.
Keep
So
going.
for
Do a
instance, like
couple
one
more
I
if you
like
don't
to
mind.
use is like, I tell you, last week a guy stole my identity. When he realized it was me, he gave it back.
I love
What
that.
a crowd. You're all right, Scott. You're all right.
I tell you, it's rough. I
I
tell
tell
you,
you.
my wife, her cooking so bad that the flies are chipping in to fix the screen door. I tell
Yeah.
you.
I tell my wife, is she fat? Are you kidding? Her zipper's made by Amtrak. That's how
Well,
bad it is.
and the
You're all right.
reason, not the only, and again, your friends kind of gave me all this information, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I met Rodney.
Hmm.
Did you ever meet him?
I never met him in person, but in
Okay.
1977, when I was in high school, like my
Okay.
senior year in high school, we went to see him at Rodney's, Dangerfield's rather. Now it's called Rodney's. We went to
Yeah.
see him at Dangerfield's, right next to the stage. So he comes out, he's like
Right.
dripping wet and everything. He's like, I tell you, what am I so nervous for? I own the joint.
I tell you, it's
I
rough.
tell you, you're all right. But never met him in person. Never met
Do you
Rod.
want me to do it? I don't want to eat up your time, but do you want me
No,
to
go
tell you
ahead. Do
my?
whatever you want to say. It's your
No,
show there.
it's
Scott.
your comedy. I'll do it real quick. I'll do the quick
Go
version.
ahead. Go ahead.
I worked for RCA Records.
Mhm.
I'm in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hilton. It's a big night. Richard Gere, all these people, and here, I tell you, it's rough. He's
Yeah.
got two blondes, one on each arm. How you doing, fella? How you doing? I said, Rodney, can I get a picture? No pictures, fellas. I'll tell you a joke instead. I said, all right. What's the joke? He said, the other night I'm walking down the road. Guy's walking his dog. Dog starts licking himself. I said, man, oh man, if I can do that, he said, well, pet him. Maybe he'll let you.
Yeah.
Well, and then he said, hey, do you fellas got any weed? That's a true story.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to tell you that story.
All
There's
right,
more
good.
to it, but that's all I'm going to tell
I
you. You have
like
to come
that.
back and
Yeah,
I'll do the
good.
second
Yeah,
version.
yeah.
Besides doing stand up, you produce shows. Tell the folks
I
about your
produce
show.
some shows. You know what it is, because full time I do mortgages. I originate residential mortgages. So
Yeah,
I know a lot of people, and there are a lot of people come up to me when they know I'm also doing comedy. They ask me to help out, maybe putting together a fundraiser. Let's say I do put
yeah,
some
you do a
shows
lot of
together
that.
for the Rotary,
Right.
or like
You have, and I've got that written up. You got one coming up with Ruthie Ferreira, the
yeah, I'm
31st.
doing one with Ruthie. Ruthie's
Yeah, and
great,
the
very
31st. You have one
talented.
coming up.
Yeah, January
Rotary
31st.
thing, right?
Hmm?
The Rotary thing,
Yeah, that's the
31st.
yeah for the. I'm not in actually the Paramus Rotary, but I work in the mortgage business with in my
Oh
company.
no, I know
Somebody
that.
who's
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that Rotary who reached out to me to help put the show together. And we
Okay,
did it
right.
last year, and we had over 200 people. It was very successful, raised a lot of money for the charity, and it
Wonderful.
was a lot of fun. We had and so they reached out to me again for this year, and doing good. But I also put together some shows for like lake communities. We have a lot of, up in North Jersey, a lot of
Right.
lakes, and they have clubhouses and everything, and they're all looking to do different types of entertainment. So I've done that. And I do things at local diners too, like back rooms of
Yeah,
diners,
yeah, yeah.
put together.
Well,
So,
just so you know, Jeff, I'm going to put all the links to your Facebook and your Instagram and all any you whatever you
oh,
have.
okay, that's fine.
That way, people, because I was real impressed, and yeah, you do. You got such a big heart.
Yeah, and
Uh,
no, I know, I appreciate that. No,
well,
that's
and
fine.
you know what? I have it written down at the end. I wasn't going to give it away, but I'm going to give it away. Every comedian, every person that I contacted to try and get some information, all said the same thing. A very funny guy and a very nice guy, a very good guy.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. No,
Everyone, from, and I did contact a lot because I was trying to get some dirt.
mhm.
I'm an idiot. You got to know I'm an idiot.
Uh,
Favorite show you've done so far, and the least favorite show you've done so far.
okay, so you talk like an individual show that like
Well,
like
no,
oh
something you watched on TV, bud.
you mean something I want?
I tell you, I
So
tell you,
what?
it's rough.
Just like a show I've done
Well,
that.
you could do it. Look, this is your comedy minute. Why are you
Oh,
trying to
all right.
split the atom here? I thought
Yeah.
we were going to have fun.
Yeah, well, I thought, the best show, I really thought the fundraiser I did for the road last year was probably
Okay,
the
there
best.
you go.
Yeah, we
You're
had a
picking up
nice
what I'm
crowd. It
throwing
was very
down. You got it.
friendly. Yeah. Well, you know what it is too? I more than anything, I just enjoy meeting a lot of comics and
Okay.
hanging out with them and just having fun. And, to me, and then when the event goes well and you get a lot of compliments afterwards,
Yeah.
the guests are happy that, uh, meeting everybody, and they got entertained. That to me, that's means more than anything on there, that
Okay.
they were happy with what I did
Wow.
on there.
You
That's
said a
all it
mouthful
means.
there, brother. You said a
Yeah,
mouthful.
you know.
Because that's all I'm doing, just
And
trying to make people laugh. And I have an
I didn't
inside.
really have like a least show. I mean, there's going to be always going to be some shows at clubs, maybe on an off night, there's a small crowd, and I always like. It doesn't have to be a huge crowd, but it was always nice when you have, let's say, at least like 30, 40 people or so.
Yeah.
So sometimes if it's a show that either maybe, or sometimes there's an audience that wasn't as receptive, that they're always on their phones, that you know that's but I
Hey, gotta-
what is, I want to tell you something, Scott. I want to tell you something. I did a show the other
I tell
day.
you, go
I
ahead.
did a
Tell
show the
me.
other day. It was bad enough that the guest in the audience was texting, but she texted 911.
You texted
Hey, she wanted to get out of there. It's calling an ambulance, for God's sakes. That's how bad I was.
I don't know where to start.
Uh,
I just put up a joke. I think that's why I love what you do, because I love old time comedy and old Henny Youngman, and
yeah,
I
and I
grew
do
up
a
on
lot of
Rodney, and
shows for
that's stuff.
seniors. I do a lot of senior type,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
events, because I do reverse mortgages too. So
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
try to network with seniors. So and seniors, when I do assisted living facilities, they like a lot of jokes about themselves, on there. So yesterday I did a show. It's been like freezing the last few days, as you
I
know,
know.
windy,
I'm in
freezing.
Pennsylvania. It's colder than it's
Oh, okay.
single digits.
Yeah. So I did a senior bingo event yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, and I told everybody, we had about maybe 80 people there.
Right.
So I said, boy, there's so many people in this room that are so old and so cold. Usually you have to go down to the morgue to see this.
That's good. That's
There
good.
you go. I mean,
Um,
it was so cold. It was so cold. The New York City pizza rat ordered DoorDash. That's how cold it was.
do you do you enjoy producing the shows more, or being up on stage and doing stand up?
Um, I like I like a little bit of both, on
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
I like to produce some shows, not
Yeah.
a lot. A lot only because I just don't have as much time.
Right.
Just if I was retired from mortgages,
Yeah.
I could see myself producing more,
Right.
but now it's more like just kind of things that maybe fall into my lap that people are asking me to do. I'll,
Okay.
do. But you know what it is? I'm a very big believer in the law of reciprocity. So what happens is if any comics are kind enough to have me on their show
Sure.
that they're
Sure.
producing, or if they recommended me to be in the lineup, I try to go out of my way to, bring them on to shows that I'm doing on there. I really a big believer in that.
But you do some jokes about your wife and her
Yeah.
boyfriend and her
Oh, right,
boyfriend.
right. That's a
Does she
little
have a
running gag.
boyfriend?
You want to hear a
Do
funny
you
story?
have a girlfriend?
No, I have a wife. My
No,
wife,
but what?
my wife does have a
I
boyfriend
tell you, I
though.
tell
So
you, your
I,
your wife has a boyfriend, but you don't have a girlfriend.
I don't have a girlfriend.
What the hell's going on with that?
I don't know. It's no. I'll tell you what happened. What happened during the pandemic. During the pandemic, when we were doing Zoom comedy, all the clubs were
Right.
closed. We were doing Zoom comedy. So I was doing Gladys Simon. You know Gladys, right?
Yeah,
She
Gladys.
would
Yeah,
have every Wednesday
just did.
during the
Yeah, you just did
pandemic.
her morning show, or daily show or day show.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You
like I
did.
usually once a month or so, I come do her early show on
Yeah.
Thursdays. Like it's kind of like a booked open mic, and then a bunch of us go out to dinner afterwards.
Elaine Witt's been on the show. Elaine hosted a few.
Oh, me and Helene are very close. Me and Helene are
Well,
good friends.
she has one of my shirts. She has a your
Well,
friend.
you know how I met Helene? I'll tell you a story.
I'll tell you.
It
I'll
was
tell you.
it was the second show I ever did, and it was
No
at the
lie.
Greenwich Village Comedy Club.
Yeah.
This is the second show. And again, this is like over 7.5 years ago or so, 8 years. I can't remember anymore. So what happens is Helene is hosting,
Yeah.
and I'm up there, and I did a bit, and I kind of combined Rodney Dangerfield. I'll tell you, I'll do it really quick. And
Do
she
it.
really liked this bit. She gave me really good,
Yeah.
great compliments. It was basically I was talking about my bar mitzvah, in
Okay.
1971. So
Right.
I was saying how my mother, she said to me, "Oh, Jeff, when you get up there, please, whatever you do,
Do the.
don't embarrass us. Don't think of the family. Think of the family when you get. Hey, Ma, don't worry about a thing. Just relax." So I would get up there, on the bema or the stage, and
Right.
I would say, "Hey, what a crowd! What a crowd! Hey, Rabbi, you wear a hat like that, they ought to give you a free bowl of soup. What do you mean the Haftorah? I'll do the whole thing while I'm here. Hey, Uncle Seymour, you brought a family of 5. The check that'd be more than $35, I'll tell you that. So that was the joke. Helene really liked that. So after the
Oh,
show,
you
she would tell me
killer.
how much
You
she
had me
liked it.
laughing. You're killer.
Yeah, me and Helene, we've done a lot of stuff together, and
No,
Helene is one of the hardest working comics I've
I
seen. I
I
mean,
was shocked, and she's a big. Uh, Again, we got to get back to you. Helene is a big Beatles fan.
oh yeah.
Because I worked in the music business, I have a picture with Ringo Starr, and I sent her some stuff, and I love Helene.
Oh, let me just finish up real quick on the Zoom about how it started with the bit with my wife's boyfriend.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll just finish up with it real quick.
I'm
So
sorry.
what happens
I
is I'm
have
always telling jokes, and I'm always referring to like my wife's boyfriend. Like for instance, I would say something about during COVID, my wife, she didn't want to get sick, so we quarantined during COVID. So I said she was kind enough to let me stay in our bedroom upstairs while she and her boyfriend stayed on the couch downstairs. So this is the kind of like gag, the
right.
gags. So anyway, when the pandemic was over and the comic strip was back doing live shows, and like I said,
Okay.
most of the comics I never met before except for the Zoom. So they would tell me, said Jeff, and I got to be on the pro show, that once every couple of months to do a
Yeah.
pro show. So they asked me to do the pro show, but and I said, something, I'm bringing my wife because she wants to meet everybody. And they wanted to meet her. They wanted to make sure she existed. They think,
Did anybody want to meet the boyfriend?
yeah, yeah, but I don't want to tell them there really is no boyfriend. Yeah,
Okay.
but she
Okay.
was happy to meet everybody. Everybody met her, and it worked out. It worked out good.
That's
I have a
funny.
little. I'll do a real quick Zoom joke too. so I was telling everybody during the pandemic, all those comics were just doing Zoom comedy when everything was shut down. And somebody had asked me the other day, said, Jeff, what's the difference between doing comedy on Zoom and doing it live? I said, for me, there's no difference. Either way, I don't hear any laughs.
Yeah. Okay. All
There
right.
you go.
No, I, you
Like
know,
the mute button,
that's one of the last questions I have
Oh, okay.
as far as doing Zooms. And I got to be honest, I just mentioned all the great, Helene, all the people, Tom Padovano, all the people I've
Oh,
had on.
Tom, sure.
But there's real, in other words, I don't give away my jokes on Zoom, or I don't like Zoom and this and that. And I'm trying to prove that wrong. You can be funny. Funny is funny regardless of,
Right.
and I know there's nothing like a live
All
performance,
right.
but yet there's funny on Zoom. Do you enjoy, and I know, are you still doing some Zooms?
Not as much as I did,
Right.
but I do. I enjoy them. It's great, work on new material and just seeing everybody maybe you haven't seen in a long time. I don't do it as much as I did during the pandemic because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
doing more
that makes
open
sense.
mics and things like that.
Right.
But I'll do every once in a while. I'll definitely do Zooms and stuff.
Okay.
It's fine. I enjoy it.
I
I don't think
guess.
just to have the technology is great. I mean,
Oh yeah, no. And again, I hate when I talk too much, but this was a dream of mine
mhm,
to be able to get someone, and so people know you and I've never met.
right.
We never chatted before.
Mhm,
You don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't know what's going to come out of your mouth.
right.
I do them this way for a reason. I want to make sure that the spontaneity, and I've had people say, it's unbelievable, Scott. I had such a great time.
Mhm.
People that don't do them. Vanessa Holling said she hated doing them.
Oh, really?
Stacy Pressman talked her into doing it.
Hmm.
And at the end, she said, man, Scotty, I had such a great time. It was so fun. Well, look, we're going to run out of time, and I don't want to run out of time. And I want to make sure
Okay.
we covered. I know you have the show we talked about January 31st with Ruthie Ferreira,
Right.
Rotary Club or something, right?
It's the Rotary. It's at the in Paramus. If anybody wants to
Right,
reach out to me to come, a Visitation Church in
right,
Paramus. They have a whole auxiliary building that holds a few
right.
hundred people, and we have a stage and everything. But and usually my event, I just like most who put them on Facebook and Instagram, the
Yeah,
posters and everything like that. So
right.
you know,
Well, if there's anything else that I'm missing, is there anything else I'm missing?
I don't know. Do I do it? If I'm supposed to do like a little routine
Well,
or
yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna get to your comedy minute in a second. I
Oh,
want to make
okay.
sure I covered everything on the paper.
Yeah. What
I
else
have a
we got on the
crack
paper?
staff
Anything?
that puts this stuff together. I want to make sure I covered everything.
Oh, all right.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'm intrigued by, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All the stuff behind you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, let's see.
If you don't mind, yeah. I mean, yeah. Talk about
Well,
that.
I
That's pretty
got.
cool.
Let's see. I'll show you. I got Bing. The big. They got my Bing Crosby. I'm a big
That's
Crosby.
yeah.
Can I,
Got
can
it.
I do just a little Crosby because I'm Jewish.
Yeah. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Okay. So what happens is you know, during Hanukkah, when I was a kid, the only thing open was the movie theater and Chinese food. That was the only thing growing up Jewish.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Chinese food, here's my Bing Crosby if he was celebrating Hanukkah. I'm dreaming of a white carton, just like the one times I used to know. Little bit, little Bing. Who else do I have
Let
here?
me just stop you for a second.
Yeah.
I have, and after this is done, I want to get with you. I have a ton of Bing Crosby 78s.
Oh, okay.
I vinyl records. I have all kind. I have Bing Crosby. I have a lot of Bing Crosby.
Oh, that's great. No, I love Bing.
No, go ahead, keep going. I didn't mean to
And who else
interrupt. What
I
else
got?
do you
Here's
grab?
yeah, Al Jolson and his wife Ruby Keeler. This was from the movie Go Into Your Dance, 1935. Yeah, I'm a huge
Wow.
Jolson fan. So going back to like the mid 70s when remember the old $1 Million movie on Channel 9
Yes,
in New York?
yes, I do.
Yeah, other than King Kong, the original King Kong, the Jolson story in 1946 was
Sure.
the most shown
Go
movie.
ahead, keep
It was
going.
all
We got
Jolson's
time. Let me make sure
boys.
we got plenty of time. I think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I would do. So I belong to the International Al Jolson Society. We have conventions and festivals and
Yeah,
all kinds of different stuff. And who else? I'm a big Sinatra fan also. So I
sure.
got Frank Sinatra. You know.
I have a batch of Frank Sinatra 78s as well. Here,
Oh, all right.
here, I have a doll. You're gonna like this doll. Here, I'll hold up a doll. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, there you go.
Just so we're clear,
Yeah.
I don't do political humor. That was
Oh,
given to
okay.
me. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden, a Kamala Harris. I don't do that shit. I don't.
Yeah, I
You
don't do much political
to
humor.
me, you can't divide. At least it used to be, and I guess even now, I guess everybody has to do. But if you mention Biden or Kamala Harris, you mention Trump, you just split the room.
Yeah, if I do any political humor, it's usually harmless. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, right,
anything. But I don't do much on. You know
right.
what is also being in sales, with
Oh yeah,
mortgage
yeah,
and like I don't really put anything on social media or let
yeah. I know. Well,
people I know who I'm trying to get referrals
Your
from.
Instagram is your mortgage thing, and again,
Yeah, because
I
I,
get
I
it.
just don't want it to be where I don't
No,
want to give people a reason not to refer me
yeah,
business or not giving me any kind of like a comedy
yeah. I
gig.
was gonna ask that if you've ever been, but you know what? Let's do your comedy minute, and if we have time at the end, I'll ask my last question.
Oh, okay. So I'll do
Okay.
my little bit. I did
Hang
that
on.
Rodney.
Let me do a formal introduction. Okay.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Your comedy minute, Jeff Greenberg. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Scott, you got to. There's a lot of crime going on, right?
Oh yeah.
All over the country in New York and everything like that, and it's really bad. It's really, I don't want to tell you something. I take the trains all the time when I'm in the city. You
Right.
know, it's so bad. I actually stand on the subway tracks to avoid being pushed. I don't. No, I don't want any surprises. I'll just hoist myself up. No, it's bad news. It's bad. I take the Second Avenue subway a lot. That's the
Okay.
the newest trains they built a number of years
All
ago.
right.
So they have on the Second Avenue subway, they have the state of the art electronic on the platform. The
Okay.
signage is all brand new. So I'm looking at it the other day, and it says Q train 7 minutes, R train 4 minutes, homeless guy with a hammer 26 seconds. No, it's
that was actually up on the board.
oh, there you go. And then
No, it was the homeless guy.
no, there's some really bad stuff going on there. This past summer, I was in the Bronx. I saw kids playing hopscotch with a chalk outline of a body. That's how that's
Just
how bad it
didn't
is.
they light somebody on fire up there
Oh my God, it
in
was
the
it was
subway?
yeah. There was another one that was roasting marshmallows. With that from the bottom. That's how bad it was. Forget about coming to help.
And
Please.
they were videoing. They were with their camera. They were
Oh,
videoing her.
it's bad news. What's the other? Then do you hear about this? This was about 2.5 years ago. On the Upper
Okay,
East Side, there was an 82-year-old doorman, and
right?
this woman with a machete attacked him.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did.
Thank God he's okay. Thank God he's okay. I was in real shock when I heard about that story. 82-year-old. Because I'm saying to myself, he's 82. A simple steak knife would have done the trick. Why schlep the machete for God's sakes?
You know
And
what?
then they had this woman also about the same time, about 2.5 years ago. She was caught shoplifting 100 times. 100 times shoplifting, no jail, no bail. You got to admit that's pretty bad, right?
Right.
The good news is on Saturday she's having a garage sale. So too much clutter, Be there by 10
Hey,
and no checks,
hey,
no
I
checks.
got to go back one if you don't mind. We're going to
Go
run out
ahead,
of
John.
time, but I don't want to run out of time because you're so funny.
Oh, thanks.
The 80-year-old that, and this is true, and I have to pay homage to you that I laugh at stuff like that. This is true. An
Mhm.
80-year-old man shot his wife in the head or something.
Oh.
And I thought, and like you, look, thank God she's okay.
Mm.
But then I thought, well, I bet she's not going to be late with that coffee again.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That it was a tragedy, but yet I just took it.
Right.
And then I couldn't help myself.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah,
sick
yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
other words, it flashed up on the news. I'm like, 80-year-old man shot his wife in the
Oh,
head.
right.
And I did. I
So
apologize.
there you go. So,
Listen, I wanna thank you first and foremost from the bottom of my heart for coming on the show.
no, I appreciate it. I appreciate you reaching out to
I
me.
hope that
This is a
we
lot
get
of
together
fun.
again.
This is,
Maybe what we'll do, because now that I've made the connect, and we'll get Helene, we'll get Tom, we'll do one of these with 4 or 5 of us on.
oh, that'd be great.
I would
Yeah.
love that.
Oh,
I
okay.
really would. I really
Yeah.
would.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
thank you
that
from the bottom of my
I would love
heart.
it because these are all my friends. Helene,
Yeah,
Tom.
Helene's given me heck a few times that you don't have enough of my friends on.
You want to hear a funny Helene story? You're gonna
I
like
think
this.
how much time do we
Oh,
have?
we got
I
a
only
time.
have the. Go ahead. Let's see how much time we have. Let me put on my glasses. Go ahead. What's it say?
Okay. Helene loves when I tell this. I'm not saying anything, but Helene does a lot of Zoom comedy, and sometimes it's in the
Yeah.
middle of the night, like 3 in the morning,
Right.
4 in the morning. So what she did, she created a bed pillow with her picture on it, her head on it. So in case she falls asleep in the Zoom show, people don't realize it. They just see her face that's still in the Zoom box. They just hear snoring, but it's not her mouth's not moving. You know. But that's and that happened. I remember one time I was on the show with her, and I said, "Oh my God, it's a pillow. It's not even
All
Helene."
right. Thank you so much for being here. I
Okay.
mean that.
Oh no, no,
I hope
thank
you had a
you.
good time.
This has definitely been a lot of fun.
Cool.